Okay, chat, we're gonna watch this video. This video is insane. This video is crazy. So it's by a guy called Dopay. I don't know, right? 9 months ago, 1 million views, and it's why it's impossible to fight Primmie. Okay, now some of you might have seen this if you're like, you know, you watch a lot of Valo content, yada yada yada, but this is crazy and it's gonna make you rethink crouching in Valorant.
Imagine you're top 1% in basically every metric in Valorant. What would that look like? Clicky aim,
One enemy remaining.
insane game sense, but crouching every single gunfight? This is Primmie, the rank 1 player in APAC for the last 4 acts. He's so insane he even got picked up to tier 1 straight from
literally, guys, look at this. Look, he's literally top 5, top 2, top 1, top 5, bro.
In APAC for the last 4 acts. He's so insane he even got picked up to tier 1 straight from the ranked ladder.
This is
straight into team talent from just ranked.
Let us introduce Primmie. If you guys don't know who he is, he has never
That's insane, by the way.
really on the VCT
People don't just get picked up from ranked.
Debuted in his
I mean,
game
they do,
against
but
Team Secret and they won 2-0.
Primmie, a debut in the knockout stage, and now he's going straight to champions.
Going in with an open mind.
You've all heard at this point that crouching is bad. But what if I told you crouching is good? If you've ever seen Primmie play, this guy crouches in pretty much every single gunfight. And if you weren't looking for it, it looks like he's not even crouching.
Yeah, look, you see how many times he crouched
there?
there?
There's 2 ways that Primmie uses crouches.
Mount crouch so much.
He opens up his peak with a crouch. Take a look at this crouch peak here. This type of crouch is a little bit easier to identify because he goes a little bit lower. In other words, he's committing to the crouch a little bit longer. This is because it's kind of like a deady peek, except he's throwing in that crouch at the end just to change his head level a little bit.
Bro, it's kind of mental.
It looks very fluid and he's just in and out. So this type of crouch peek is best used
so
when you're
quick.
trying to contact kills. Now, if they couldn't hear you, you probably would just go for a wide swing because you move faster. But oftentimes in Valorant, you kind of have to just shuffle walk around.
What's up, Yuki? How we doing?
Right? That's where this crouch peek comes into play.
We're currently watching a video.
Primmie's at 45 HP.
We're currently watching a video of this guy called Primmie on Valorant who crouches a shitload, and why apparently crouching might actually be a good thing and not a bad thing.
And he's
when
in a
done
3v3
correct.
and he's looking for a kill. You can see how thorough he is on every single
Hey,
angle,
look,
and he's making sure
he's
to add
crouching
that
everything,
crouch
chat.
just to buy himself some more time to go for a micro adjustment.
And it
If you slow
works.
this kill down.
Look at
you can
this.
see his pre-aim was actually a little bit off, but because he went for the crouch peek, he bought himself a little bit more
bullet
time
goes
so he can
past his
actually get
head,
that
look.
micro adjustment onto the face.
Zip.
Okay, so crouch peeks. Surely that's all, right? He just crouch peeks and then that's what makes him
Isn't
better?
crouching supposed to be bad
not
in Val?
exactly. You've
They're about to explain why it isn't.
probably heard
In
that
some
crouching
situations.
in a gunfight makes you a sitting duck. In other words, crouching is committing to a gunfight. But what Primmie does here is he just tap crouches. This means that he can kind of just lower his head height just a little bit and then move.
See? So this is what they're saying, right? So they're saying is if you just tap crouch, but you don't fully commit to the crouch, all you're doing is changing your head height. So if someone aims at your head, because you change your head height, right? But you're only tapping it. You're not like going tap and all the way down. You're only going halfway. So you like this, you know? What's up, Quaz? Dude, Quaz, you'll like this video, bro. We're watching a video on why crouching in a specific way might actually be good in Valorant.
And then do it again. It's basically just good movement at that point. Take a look at this round when he's top gen. He's not crouch peeking,
Like, look,
but he's
he doesn't
crouching
actually
on
fully
this
crouch.
ongoing
He's like
gunfight to
half
keep
crouching.
himself alive longer. In other words, he's doing that burst strafe type of movement, except he's throwing in some crouches there to make himself even harder to hit. To help you guys see the effectiveness,
Like,
I found some clips
look!
from his debut
Oh my
games
God.
against Secret. But if you look really closely
What's
on
up,
some
Jade?
of these, and I'll make sure to slow it down, you can see he's kind of like his head bobs down a little bit. And
He's doing the half crouches. I hate it so much. Yeah, but it looks, it's so insane.
You can't really tell. But on an ongoing duel, especially on the Abyss one, you can tell that extra movement
Yeah,
actually bought him
look.
time to get the 2K.
So
Now,
good,
this isn't
bro.
actually the first time I've seen this type of movement. I originally saw it on a Xander VOD about a month ago. Here he's contacting up A main after the one way is dropping, and you can see he's kind of doing those crouch peeks. As he kind of opens up into the angle, he starts doing those tap crouches to kind of jiggle and get some
Like,
more
what
info.
the f?
In my opinion, I think adding the crouches into your movement instead of just unbinding it and ignoring it is probably the next step to level up your movement. And so far, from watching all of these pros, Xander and Primmie are the only 2 that I've seen do it so far.
Yo, ONTG with a prime for 26 months. I appreciate it. Big love. And welcome back. The Anxiety Gang, bro. I appreciate it a lot. Thank you, mate. Welcome in. Welcome back. The Anxiety Gang. Chat, drop some hearts. Show the love. Show the support. Thank you very much, mate. I do appreciate it a lot.
If you can implement this into your gameplay, I promise you contacting duels will be a lot easier And on these
I
ongoing
feel like
duels, you'll notice it feels pretty nice.
with how he
when I was trying to practice
with
this,
how he
I
plays,
noticed,
I feel like
wasn't
this would be
actually
really good
exiting
for
my
like
crouch
opening
as
up
quickly as
angles.
Primmie was. So I decided to look up his wooting settings. And I found out he actually has his left control on 0.1 actuation with the most sensitive rapid trigger as well.
This is nuts, by the way. That means if you just tap, if you just like fucking raise your fucking control key, it just goes
off. But by
off.
looking at this, you can tell he values his left control as part of his movement. And with this change, I felt like my crouches were kind of more fluid and I was going in and out of it much quicker. This does take some time to get used to because it is very sensitive and you definitely don't want to accidentally hit crouch. But if you can get used to it,
he's so good at it though.
Intentional with it, then crouching can be a good strength for you. If you're curious on his other settings, by the way, he plays on 800 DPI, 0.45 in-game, and based on his last
man plays double my sense.
Other settings, by the way, he plays on 800 DPI.
Yeah, I play 400 and I play 400 and 0.39, right? He plays 800, 0.45. So if you half this to 400, then you half this. Wait, if you half, no, you'd have to double my, so if you increase my, yeah, so he literally plays double my shit. No, he plays double my sense. I thought he played half, but he plays double, which is crazy.
DPI 0.45 in-game, and based on his last video, he's using the super light along with...
and also, chat, a lot of people don't know about this. On a mouse, some mice, if you get like a decent one, you don't actually have to get a crazy one, but a decent one, you can change the hertz. Now, 1000 hertz is really good. Like, what this means, right, is, so I think a lot of the time a mouse has like 500 hertz, I think. And what that means is like, it's how much information your mouse is sending to your computer, right? So the more of this, the more information your PC has, so the faster it can react, right? That's basically how that works, I'm pretty sure. Do you keep your DPI at 400 when you're just... Yeah, I'm on 400 right now. But look, it's fine. Look. I'm chilling. I didn't even know hertz was on a mice. Yep, it is. It is, yeah. Look, I mean, if I... Or we'll just pause this video one sec. Yeah, look. So mice have different polling rates, right? So how much information is pulled, right, to the computer. So you can have 125, 250, 500, 1000, right? I don't know what LOD is. What is LOD? 1 millimeter, 2 millimeter. What is LOD? Okay, back to the video.
DPI 0.45 in-game, and based on his last video, he's using the super light along
lift
with the
off distance, so when you pick up your mouse. Oh, okay.
X-off. But on his other video, he also uses the radient X-off, so he might just be switching between the two. Moving on from his movement, I wanted to highlight some other aspects of his gameplay that I thought was impressive. First one is contacting angles. Now let's go back at this round that we saw before. If we start at the beginning, you can see how he works up mid. He's
W skin.
His angle clears here. His preem is very good, and he's throwing in those crouches as he's clearing mid. He even opted for a close wall crouch peek. All of this thoroughness netted him 2 kills. Even after all of that, once he starts working out mid to try to get that vandal,
this guy's kind of nuts.
Take a look at the way he clears every single angle. He's very thorough and detailed. By the time he gets the vandal, you can already feel that he's going to get a kill. And after a few more seconds of checking some angles, he does.
Look at this peek.
He opens up the round,
look how he peeks us.
Spawn, and then he tells
crouched into the angle, so the guy shoots above because he's aiming too high.
But this eco was one
That's
off the back
so
of
smart, no?
insane mechanics and his thoroughness on clearing these angles. Another thing I wanted to highlight with Primmie's gameplay is how fast he can go on attack. Now in this game in particular, he is duo queued with the fade, which allows him to kind of match his pacing with the fade utility. But even on round 2 here against an eco, he's kind of just running it down.
Dude, it's kind of, he is fucking nasty. Yeah.
You can see he's just dodging the skyblind. He sees the smoke and decides just to run through it anyways.
This is...
And right as he exits the smoke, you can see he's doing that crouch peek, and then he gets that kill in the sky and opens up the round.
Just insane.
Here's another round shortly after. He's waiting for the fade prowler to clear.
What a fucking round from him.
To make some space.
Okay, this one is a fumble. I've
sure
seen this.
Close to the smoke, but he doesn't want to extend his gun barrel into the smoke, so he's kind of.
Bro, he literally sees the random but doesn't respond.
Enters the smoke, he throws in a little crouch and then pivots his gun straight into the smoke just in case.
Like, look right here, look right here.
Because he face checked that smoke, he's able to catch the timing on the clove, and then there's the random in the corner. But that's besides the point. You can see how if you have good technique face checking a smoke, it's actually not that scary, and it's something that he'll. That was unfortunate. This combined with the fact that he's following the fade util and that's his duo, he's able to have some insane ass spacing on his attack.
Dusty.
Belly! Lewis, how we doing? Coming in with a tier 1 for 27 months. I appreciate it. Big love. Welcome back to Anxiety Gang. I appreciate it.
I mean, this game in general, they actually ended up winning the half 10-2, and they were pretty much just rushing down.
So okay, chat, you get the general.
So hopefully you guys were pretty inspired by.
You get the general understanding of his movement.
Something I wanted to mention is he's actually been doing this for a long time. If you look at his YouTube
chat, look at this, guys. Be ready. This is this guy from season like 1 or some shit. You ready?
His first Valorant montage was uploaded June 27, 2020. So he's been grinding this game for the last 4 years. Now, if you look at his track,
bro, look.
entire time playing the game.
What the fuck? Season Act 1, Episode 2. No, Act 2. Sorry, Immortal 1. Bro, what the fuck? Wait, what is this? What is this percentage? His fuck win percentage was 92%.
I think he had some experience playing CSGO before or something like that. But even with that prior experience playing other games, it still took him this long to get picked up on a tier 1 team.
Finished 3 nights today.
For any aspiring players
oh my
out
god,
there that
I bet you're fucking knackered.
Trying to get pro or just to get better in general. This game
you play like 13 games, yeah, but 90% in 13 games is crazy.
Like I said, grinding for 4 years.
90%.
I do recommend you guys check out his channel or just try to look for some.
So chat, this guy, he said that he uses a Wooting keyboard. How much do they cost? They're the expensive ones, right? That's like the Louis Vuitton of like a keyboard.